Hey everyone, it is now 7:30. It's getting darker this time of year, so it's now been dark for nearly 90 minutes. Pretty soon we'll be coming back from daylight savings, so it'll be getting dark at 4 o'clock around when that happens. A lot more nighttime now. We haven't been out super deep in the wilderness since the middle of summer, just because after multiple failed trips out here, not being able to really find anything, it was kind of stupid to continue on out here. But today we're out here maybe hoping to find some wildlife, maybe film a moose. I just turned off of the main artery. This is still kind of a main artery. We're about to turn on a road that has been abandoned for quite a while, kind of muddy, a very off for the map road, and who knows, there might be moose. There's a lot of mud down there. Unless they improved it, there's a lot of random spots out here this evening that look totally different because they cut down different areas of the forest. It always looks really different if you haven't been on certain roads out here for just a few months, because they cut it down a little here, a little there, and when I say a little, they might cut down maybe up to 20-30 acres here, a little there, just small clear cuts. Around here they don't cut down anything huge, they just cut down little areas, then it helps it grow back a little better. Giant areas just heat up in the sun too much, and it's harder for things to grow back if they happen to get a dry year. Looks like a lot of traffic coming out that road to the left right there. They must have done stuff up there during the summer months. But we're now in that time of year. They just had hunting season for a lot of animals, or they might still be in it. It's the end of October. I believe they're still in hunting season for things like the moose and bears, things like that. But I think that's ending soon. If it has ended, there won't be really anyone out here. So this is the road we're going to take, and it looks like they haven't really been using it. Yeah, it's still very overgrown, and it's probably still going to be pretty muddy up here. But who knows if we might find a moose or something on these very muddy roads. There's water trickling down the road. It's been a fairly rainy year. The past couple of days it rained. Not today. This week's is actually going to be pretty warm. The last week in October, it's going to be warmer than normal. Here's a destroyed culvert pipe. A lot of water in the road here. Yeah, so this week is going to be upper 60 degrees for the next 4 days, which is a lot warmer than usual. Last night at my house was the first actual frost, and it was a hard one. It rained and then everything flash froze. Everything was very icy, but as soon as the sun came up, it thawed out pretty quickly. A lot of vegetable plants actually survived it. The very hardy ones like lettuce and broccoli. A couple tomato plants, they had black leaves, but it did far less damage than I thought. It didn't kill them completely. Very muddy road. There was a few times back in the day I actually almost got stuck on this road. I don't seem to be sinking that I'm noticing anywhere. It's wet and water flowing, but it's not as muddy as it used to be. Despite its condition, they did a couple improvements on this road, I think, last winter, just so they could do a little bit of winter logging. I think they logged it in the winter because they didn't really want to spend the money on fixing it, and they sent the giant trucks down here while everything was frozen solid and they knew it could hold them up. But I'm still not seeing the muddy spots I once remember getting stuck in. Could be a moose around any corner. They usually don't start running until they see you getting close, because the headlights don't scare them away. They just stare at it wondering what it is. Here's a giant pool of water. This might be one of the muddy spots. No, it's solid. I'd feel slippage if there was a lot of mud in there. Haven't even came across a part that I feel like I need four-wheel drive yet. Looks like there might be another tire track. Do you see that? Like someone else may have recently gone up here. Maybe not. But it's definitely a tire track with water flowing through it. And this right here is where the road improvements I remember stopped. Another culvert coming out of the road. There's another main artery, the one we originally turned off of. It used to go all the way to where this is going. This is our new road that we have to take sometimes now because the main road, somebody fell through the bridge and they never replaced it that I'm aware of. And instead of going all the way down there to check if the bridge is out, I just took this. Once we get to the end of this, we'll be able to see if there's a bridge out or not. I doubt they fixed it, because it's been out for like 2 years. Yeah, somebody fell through the deck, so they just blocked off the road instead of repairing it. I'm kind of surprised they didn't repair it. All it really needed was a new deck, and those timbers would have only taken a few hours to install. But they came out with those big concrete barriers and left those out there instead. Yeah, actually, last time I was out here, one of the concrete barriers was like pushed over. Somebody dragged it out of the road to actually get through there, but it only got them a couple 100 feet closer to the bridge. Grass is still very tall. We haven't had snow yet to knock all this down. Next week is going to be pretty cold, apparently. A lot of days are barely going to get above freezing, and it'll be way below at night. But once you get the first snowfall, these roads are the easiest to inspect in the spring, because all the tall grass and brush on to the sides is all pushed over. So once the snow melts in the spring before the leaves grow, that's the best time to go inspecting for blockages on the culverts, because this time of year you still cannot see the ends of the pipes, even though it's late in the year. Whatever kind of trees we're going by now seem to be pretty hardy. They love water, but they keep their leaves until the very last moment. They can take some freezes, whatever they are, and it's got to get really cold for whatever trees these are next to us to finally drop their leaves. A couple hours ago, I drove by a pretty big house fire. It was a huge fire, but a small building, it appeared, in the woods, and the fire department was there, and they either just got on scene or they determined that they couldn't really do anything because they don't have fire hydrants out here, and it probably would have been minimal to use their tanks, so maybe they were just making sure it didn't spread into the woods. Saw that a few hours ago, just driving by the fire, which was pretty far in the woods. You could feel the heat right through the windows of the car. If you have a house fire out in the middle of nowhere like this, the fire department probably can't do much if the fire's huge, because they need a body of water to pump out of, or they have to tank it in, which takes quite a while for them to set up pools where they can pump out of, and they just keep coming back and forth with tankers filling it up. If anyone's ever seen that done, it's one of the reasons I keep a fire extinguisher in nearly every room, just in case. Pretty nice out. Tonight's not going to get near the freezing mark. It'll stay in the 40s. It's a nice night. All week is going to feel like, actually kind of like summer. Friday will feel really like summer if I'm still out here. That day is supposed to be 68 degrees even up here. There's no rain in the forecast for our next couple days, so the main roads are going to get dusty again. Despite all the water, this road's in great shape actually. Very little struggle, very little mud. The MPGs are staying high. Sky's clear. I see a lot of stars up there. The moon is pretty bright, not full yet. I wonder if we'll get lucky enough to see any animals out tonight. Usually right after it gets dark is when they're pretty active. And I'm sure they'll like the warmer weather they'll have for a while before they start really hunkering down for the winter. Last night was cold, but I don't think things like bears are in hibernation yet. They usually don't stay in hibernation until it's below 40 every day. We haven't had any daytime highs that have been super cold, like maybe a day here and there. At night's been pretty warm, except last night. But even if they did decide to go to sleep, they'll probably wake up for a little while this week. I haven't seen a bear on my cameras in actually 6 or 7 weeks. It's been a while. But that's just because I stopped putting food out once I noticed them around. Like this are perfect sleeping weather out here. I like when it's in the 40s or 30s. It just seems to be the best night to sleep. Oh, the moon is super bright, if you can see that a little bit near the top of the screen. I bet even if I shut the lights off, I'd be able to see a little bit with it. No, it's not that bright. Maybe if my eyes adjusted, I could get around very slowly, but it doesn't seem that bright. that was there last time. A lot of mud here, people going around it. That mud would have been pretty slippery a few days ago. I could feel myself slipping a little bit. Not bad though. Very sudden. Yeah, I think we're gonna come out pretty soon. We're connecting with another road right now. It's very unlikely we'll come across anybody on these trips like this time of year. Even during tourist season, you can go quite a while, especially when it's dark out. But there's been times I've been up here in the winter, once it starts to get colder out. One time, even 5 days out on these dirt roads, didn't see a single person out. Usually I don't stay out 5 days because I don't have enough fuel to do that. 3 days is average, I guess. If I'm actually finding interesting things to get out and film. If I'm on the road all day, usually run out in like 2 days, even with the second tank. Now we're about to hit the old main artery that we started the video on. It used to go all the way down here, parallel with this road, but not in service anymore. At least I don't think it is. It wasn't a couple months ago. Mile 3. I know we don't have 3 more miles to go. Mile 3 is back to another major fork. The major fork is involving that road that we turned off of to get onto the road that was all flooded. That's some good water here. This flood's a lot worse than it used to be. And there's a culvert here at this hump. I think the road's just too low there. Here's a good sized flood. But this time of year, this isn't really warm to them anymore. It's getting colder every day, but if it was this warm in the spring after a long winter, a lot more things are out and about walking around. Like in the spring, if you go walking around on a rainy night, there's all kinds of creatures like frogs around, even if it's just slightly above freezing, because it makes them all come out of hibernation. But this time of year, you get a pretty warm night and not really see anything. This road's very flooded out. Wasn't like this at all back in the spring. Much worse now. This road's longer than I remembered. Yeah, not a single one of these giant floods was here back in the spring. Don't remember a single one of those. Now, what's this mile marker say? Are we actually doing 3 miles? Wow, we only did 1 mile, and yeah, and now it says 4. Wow, that seems very long for just a mile. I guess it's just because the road is in such bad shape. So at least I was right about the 3 miles being backwards and not forward. I didn't think I had 3 miles to go, but I would have believed it. But it's just because I'm going so slow, it seems like the road is so long. Flooding water I've ever seen on that road. I've seen heavier trickles towards the beginning, but that was a lot of pooling there. Never seen it so bad. It was a very rainy spring though. Out. Just want to go and see it because it's like right here. I can easily back out of it, I hope. I think I can already see the barrier. Just want to check something. Yeah. It's definitely still blocked off. I see the barrier up there. Yeah, they didn't attempt to fix it at all. This was a main road ever since I was little. Just shut down last year. Remember, I used to ride a bicycle down it all the time. Now I gotta carefully back out of here. It's very dark and I can not see very well behind me. Hopefully I can do this in one go without having to pull forward again. I think I'm good. should be almost there because I could see the barrier down there when I was at this road. Alright, I'm back at the road now. Back into it. And continue where we were headed. A lot of people don't know that shortcut to continue on the main road. It's all because that one bridge is out. I'm surprised they never fixed it. Now we can continue on a much better road for now. I hope tonight's little drive was interesting, everybody. Thanks for watching and have a great night.